Today I want to talk about what Chris Rock did wrong. There was something that Chris did that was wrong on so many levels. And that's what I want to address here.
Who wants to be king?
Welcome back to the War Room. Today we're going to talk about this situation that has overtaken the news cycle, and that is the slap heard around the world. Now, I find it kind of comical viewing the distinct factions that have taken sides in this. You've got one side who thinks that Will Smith was some brave, strong man that was standing up for his queen's honor, which is laughable. But on the other side of that argument are those who say that Will Smith is a beta cuck that only lashed out at Chris because he made a joke and his handler, narcissistic witch wife didn't like it. And, you know, Chris was right because he was doing his job and Will was wrong. I tend to lean, if I am to give a fuck about this situation, I tend to lean that on that side. But there's a third group that simply doesn't give a shit. And I also share a great sentiment with them. But there's so many teaching points in this. This event has shined a light on so many of the SJW movements, the things that are causing all of the damage in our culture. I mean, it's served up on a perfect platter. I feel like, all things considered, that display of feminine energy and bottled up rage, it was uncalled for and it was wrong. It was, in my opinion, it was against the law. That should not have been allowed, no matter who the fuck it was. Because if I decided that if I didn't like someone actually doing something malicious towards me and I wasn't putting my hands on them, even with a slap, I know I'm going to jail. You know what I mean? Like, I'll bake that into the cake before I go slap that person. I know with almost 100% certainty that I'm going to jail. And this dude not only didn't go to jail, he got an award and got to give a fake apology and all of this shit. And it's striking to me when you look at the mentality, if you will, of the people who stand on Will and Jada's side and say, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do and all that. When you look at that demographic of people, what you will see, and there's little to no carryover back to the realm of sanity, what you'll see is those people who stand on that vernacular, that narrative that he did the right thing and, you know, she's a strong queen, all that goofy shit. Those are the same people that preach all of the narratives that are burning our culture down as we speak. Now, whether this is real or fake, or I don't give a shit about that either. It happened. And no matter what it was, it happened. And it happened because of a series of other things. But today, this video isn't to dive all the way into those things. I made it pretty clear how I felt about Will Smith and what he did in the video I made yesterday. Today, I want to talk about what Chris Rock did wrong. There was something that Chris did that was wrong on so many levels. And that's what I want to address here. The thing that Chris Rock did wrong and that gave this such a spectacular splash was he allowed Will Smith to get into his business. And what that means to me, when I say his business, is he allowed Will Smith to close distance on him. He allowed Will to enter his space. As a man, I understand that I'm going to have conflicts with people. There's going to be times where me and another man, we may end up into a verbal conflict where we both say things that are fighting words. Only a child takes words and engages that and starts a fight. In my opinion, as a man, you can say whatever you want to. You stand over there, you stay outside of my arm's reach, that's my business. This bubble that I can reach around with my arms, that's my business. So you can do whatever you want to do as long as you stay out of my business. But when a person comes and aggresses you the way that Will Smith was, especially when they're smiling, only a fool is going to frown and let you know what's on his mind if his intention is to knock the shit out of you. But you can read a person's body language. You can watch the way that they're moving towards you, and you can see it coming if you know what's coming. I speak a lot about situational awareness. And that's the one thing that Chris Rock did wrong. He had no situational awareness of what was going on. And because of that, not only was he unaware, he actually leaned into it and put his head on a tee so Will Smith could knock it off. That's the mistake that he made. That's the thing that he did wrong. The joke that he told, that shit was funny. Especially considering all the woke bullshit, turning white characters black to appease idiots. That was a funny joke. That joke had layer upon layer upon layer. And if Jada's so strong and owning her bald head hoe status, why is she rolling her eyes like a succubus and encouraging her beta male to go slap a man that's way smaller than him and posed zero threat to Will Smith? This is why I encourage men and boys to go do some kind of fight training. You've got to do some. Jiu-jitsu is a superpower in itself, but most fights start standing up. Most fights start with punches thrown until somebody gets the headlock and does the old high school bar fight goofy shit. You got to know, you have to know how to defend yourself. You have to know at a minimum how to read a person's body language and know when they're about to throw a baseball at your head. This is a prime example of what I'm talking about when I say that when you enter a room, no matter if it's a room that you think is safe, that you have no reason to worry about anything, you still need to assess that room as if you do. Find the choke points, exfil routes, threats, possible tools that you might be able to use. All of those things. It's a fun little game. It's a fun little game, and eventually it'll become a habit that you sharpen, and you will never, ever, ever allow anyone to get in your business and cause you physical harm. Out.
Such an idiot.
Let me see what your best move is.
I'll go get it.
Jeez.